Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Tristan, and today in this video what I got going on for you guys is we are going to be discussing a topic that, again, we mentioned in yesterday's video. We said this is going to be the video for today. Basically, we're going to be discussing some sneaker reselling mistakes that I made or some ones that I didn't make, but I want you guys to avoid these mistakes because they will help your reselling progress a little bit faster. And also, we're just going to discuss what are some of the right things to focus on while we discuss these points. So if you're newer to reselling, or if you're somebody that's been in it for a while, these are some mistakes that, again, I would avoid. If you've already made them, it's cool. Again, all mistakes are fixable usually, so that's just one thing we can mention when it comes to sneaker reselling. And yeah, that's what we can say. So I hope y'all will enjoy. If you guys do want more content like this, then feel free to go ahead and subscribe and like down below. Do not forget, let's just try to hit 300 likes on this video. That is the normal goal that we always shoot for. And if you guys have any questions, please ask them down below in the comments. I will get back to them ASAP. And feel free to check me out, my IGs down below, or the Whatnot lives. Again, we've been going crazy there and whatnot. So I just want to say thank you all for your support. Make sure you guys go bookmark tomorrow's stream, because when I would go live, it will notify you, so don't miss out on that. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff we're going to be doing then, so I hope you all will be there. We're going to be doing another 200 plus things, some free items, some free essentials, so hope to see you there. And if you guys got any other questions, again, down below in the comments, feel free to ask them. Everything else is down below in that pinned comment, so I hope y'all will enjoy. We got a busy day today, but let's get started. Now, one of the first mistakes I want you guys to avoid when it comes to sneaker reselling is putting all your money in one shoe. Now, you can probably look on the channel a few years ago, we used to do this a lot, but that was, again, during a time when sneakers were kind of rising and going down a lot quicker. You know what I mean? It was a lot more volatile with the pricing, so you could make a lot more money holding a lot of shoes really quickly, and for a month or two. It was more realistic to do that back then, but this was still something that I did back then, and sometimes I would take a massive L on it. And I want you guys to avoid, again, putting all your money into one shoe, unless, again, you feel it is a very, very good bet, like, the Brick by Bricks or something with a bigger name, you know what I mean? But again, you have to think about this. This is one thing that I always want to mention. This is something that you just kind of figure out as you start reselling, right? It's so much easier to buy a shoe than it is to sell it, usually. I mean, that's just the case. I mean, I'll say this. If it's a hyped pair, you're going to have no problem selling it. But I'm talking about the idea of buying sneakers versus selling sneakers. Just regardless of price. Forget about the sneaker, forget about the price. Just think about the idea of buying a shoe versus selling a shoe. It is much easier to buy sneakers than it is to sell them, usually. That's just one thing I want to say. Maybe I'm wrong on that. That's just my thinking. Because think about the process, right? When you do it online, with selling, it's a lot more steps. You got to pack up the order. You got to get it to a post office. With buying, it's literally just clicking a couple buttons and making sure you got the money. You know what I mean? So it is much, much easier to buy a shoe versus sell a shoe. So that's one main thing I want to recommend. You can get caught up with buying a ton of one shoe, and then, well, it may be harder to find buyers for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something I want to recommend, because you can get killed with app fees, things like that. So it is a little bit more risky to do this. As you all saw, though, with the Brick by Bricks, that was an exception from this year. That was a sneaker that you really only had to hold for a month or two. They went up like $100-$150 in all sizes. And then again, if you'd put all your money in that shoe at the start of the release date, right, when they were at like $380-$400, you would have made a ton of money, and that would have been a great bet. I knew a couple people that actually, did that. I mean, they didn't put like all their money in it, but they held a lot of pairs, and it ended up working really, really well for them. You know what I mean? So this is just one of those shoes that, again, is an exception to kind of what we're discussing right now, which is the idea of, again, do not put all your money in one shoe. That is just a big tip I want to give right off the bat. You should have some variety going. That's one of the main things. If you want to have more buyers, have some variety, and have a lot of, different things for different clientele. You know what I'm saying? Have a lot of different sizes. Don't limit yourself even with just shoes. Sometimes, even dive into the clothing space. I have great success with Supreme accessories, things like that. So I heavily recommend that you guys have some variety going when you're reselling, because that's what people look for. You know what I mean? Just like a store. You know what I'm saying? So first tip I want to give right off the bat: do not put all your money in one shoe. Have some variety. All right, that'll be the key phrase from this video. Have some variety. Oh, and also shout out my kitty. What's Luna doing right now? Oh, I'll take a picture of her. Watch this. As you can see, she might be giving me the silent treatment right now because I only pet her for a few minutes before the video today, but we got a lot more time to hang out after, so that'll be good. And this afternoon, once I have to USPS. She's gotta be a little patient kitty, but that's the first tip. We'll get it out the way. Now, the second mistake that I feel like a lot of us have made, right? And this is not always a mistake, right? It just depends on the stock of the sneaker, but it is buying a shoe right on its release day for resale prices. That can be a mistake a lot of the time. The reason I mention this is because you look at a lot of shoes from this year, right? And they've gotten cheaper a couple weeks after the release date. You know what I mean? So this is just the main thing I want to recommend. Sometimes it is okay to wait a week or two to cop a sneaker, okay? It is totally fine. You know what I mean? You see it online, you really want it, wait a week or two, brother. Promise you, I've done it before. It's it'll save you a significant amount of money. You know what I mean? A lot of the time. So I heavily recommend this, right? If there's a sneaker that you really, really want, even go look at the recent Arts and Rec SP. Y'all can see those were at $250. Now they're at like $150. You know what I mean? Just wait. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the main things I encourage. I think those are even dropping on sneakers today. I'm going to go for them. I like them. Actually, wait, it's already past 10. Oh my gosh. I don't know how I missed that. Yeah, I must have slept through it. But it happens. We already got a pair on the way from Arts and Rec, actually. So shout out to them. Hit it for retail, so that was sick. But just the second mistake I want to mention, do not make this. Just be patient with buying your sneakers sometimes. You know what I mean? You don't have to go out the way and buy it right on release day for full price. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's one that you were just dying to have, which I totally understand. I did it with some SB4s, you know what I mean? I bought, a little bit early. Some of the SB4 navies, I'll admit, on my hold, but we did average down. So we're doing pretty nice right now. But there is one main thing that I want to recommend to you guys is don't go out the way and buy every shoe right on its release day, because you're probably going to lose some money. You know what I mean? Just being honest. So, I mean, again, down the line, you'll end up being fine, most likely, but at first, you'll probably be taking, a little bit of a hefty price hike. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you really need them for something, it's just wait. Just wait. Have some patience. Save your money. Trust me, do a little test this year, right? Look at sneakers on the release date, right? And then start buying them 2 weeks after the release date and see how much money you save if you do it with, like, sneakers throughout this year. You'll probably save some money. That's my bet on average. With some hype shoes, of course, they'll soar up in price a couple weeks later. That's totally natural. But second tip, I just want to mention that always check the stock, because it'll really let you know. Like, for example, with the Rare Air Force, right? Go look at what's happened with those. You know what I'm saying? They ended up they're going to do like 200,000 pairs or something like that. And the prices have now dropped to like 220, 250. I see someone selling bulk at 225 per. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just wait. You know what I mean? Those have gotten so much cheaper. And it seems that, like, that's a good thing this year. You know what I mean? Like, that's what will save you some money and help you get the best deals. Just being patient. So, second tip I want to recommend to anybody new or anybody even just, that's been in the game for a while. I'm sure you know this, of course, but patience is key, especially when it comes to saving some money and getting a good deal that you can make some money on, or just for your collection in the sneaker game. Now, the third mistake I want you guys to avoid if you're new to sneaker reselling, right? And again, I'm sure most of y'all are not this new, but if you are this new, hey, then this is a perfect tip for you, and I want you to listen in right here, right? Because I was this new at one point, you know what I'm saying, when I was just like getting started back in like 2015 or whatever it was. I think it was right around then. That's when I started getting into like Supreme and Jordans, and like a lot of that stuff was like kind of like late middle school, early high school, right? But aside from that, this is an important tip right here, and I almost forgot about it. Just let me say it right now. Don't just go for releases on sneakers, right? If you're just going for drops only on the sneakers app, brother, there's a reason you're not hitting. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to the sneaker game, make sure you guys have all the retail apps downloaded. I think Sneakers and stuff is still around. If they're not, let me know. I think they did. But yeah, Foot Locker, Finish Line, JD Sports. Think about all these normal retailers, big name ones that you can be entering at that you probably have in your local area as well. Be checking out these locations, because these are spots where they do a lot of these retail releases as well. For example, a lot of Kobe sneakers drop at Dick's. Dick's gets a good amount of pairs of Kobe's usually. You know what I'm saying? They got a good amount of the total orders recently. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to pay attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a lot of potential for you to hit at places aside from sneakers, especially if it's something in your local area. You know what I'm saying? Because, well, there's not as many people entering on sneakers. There's more people entering on sneakers than there is for example, a local Dick's Sporting Goods drop that, is hosting the, Kobe 6 Total Orange or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So be trying at these other locations as well. Go for, them on sneakers, but make sure you're going for them at these other places like Dick's, like JD Sports, like Finish Line, like Foot Lockers, like, kids Foot Lockers, for the kids sneakers, like big sizes, 7Y, 6.5Y, 6Y. Always have amazing success with those, so never sleep on those sizes, you know what I'm saying? And there's just one thing that I really recommend, you know what I'm saying? You can have good success with stuff like this. It just make sure you don't just go for it at one spot, because that's like going for Travis Scott sneakers only on the Travis Scott website. Brother, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a reason that you're not hitting, and that's already one of the hardest shoes to hit, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta make sure you're entering at all the locations that are available if you want to hit more pairs. And one thing I want to say though is be careful at entering at all locations for pairs, you know what I'm saying? Listen, of course, enter at as many locations as you can for a hype sneaker that we know is going to do well. Of course, if it's a sneaker with not a ton of stock that we know is going to be a good flip, that has a lot of demand, right? We see that out in the market, right? Just check the channel, you know what I'm saying? If we're talking about having decent demand, it looks like the prices aren't too close to retail before it's released. Those are the types of ones that, again, you should be entering at all locations for and going for heavily, because they will flip after the release and not brick or restock most likely. However, if you see a sneaker that, right, it's like $30, $40 above its retail price, or maybe even $10 to $20 above its retail price, right, like a day day before release day or something like that, those are the types of ones that you got to be a bit more careful. And let's say Nike says they're doing 200 to 300,000 pairs. Those are the ones that you got to watch closely and be careful with. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm messing up my words left and right, but yeah, you got to be careful with those types of releases, because if you enter at all locations for that type of pair, you'll probably hit it at all locations, you know what I mean? And then you're going to have a lot of a pair that will probably be going down in price that you're going to have a little bit more trouble selling. So be careful with that. Always check the stock numbers, and just be aware of how many pairs are dropping of a certain shoe, so you know if this is one, okay, I should go all in for, you know what I'm saying? So be paying attention to that. It's another thing that is very, very important. Enter at all locations for a shoe. Do not just enter on sneakers. If you're just entering on sneakers for a release, yeah, you know what I mean? That's just not much I can say. You know what I mean? It's going to be very, very hard to hit that way. You can. It's possible. Totally possible. I hit that way recently for the Kobe 6 Total Orange. I'm not saying it's impossible. You know what I'm saying? But it's just much, much harder to hit that way. So if you want a better shot, enter at all locations. Get friendly with your local managers. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me stop messing around. But that's it. If you guys want more content like this, and again, feel free to go ahead and subscribe and like down below. Do not forget, let's just try and hit 300 likes in this video. And let me know if y'all want more videos like this. I know a lot of y'all are still kind of getting into the resale game or figuring out. Some of y'all are super experienced. Like, I've seen some of y'all talking about how many pairs you hit in the comments, and I'm like, damn, you have some experience. Good job, brother. So again, this is a video really for all ranges. These are just some important tips that I don't want y'all to make, because these are mistakes that could sink your ship a bit. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to, like, of course, cause you to, like, not be able to resell anymore, but they will cause you to lose some money if you aren't careful. So just be paying attention to these mistakes and do not make them. It's okay if you've already made them. Just, you know, don't make them again. Try and avoid them. You know what I'm saying? And if you make it, don't trip up about it. You know what I mean? Just get yourself out of it. So that's really what I can say. If y'all want more, subscribe and like. Let me know if this is something that was helpful to y'all. Check out the Whatnot lives down below. We'll be going live again there tomorrow. I don't know if I did a pop-up today, if I have the energy for it, I don't know. But we'll definitely be going live tomorrow at least, so make sure y'all check that out for the giveaways, free essentials. We'll be doing some shoes starting at $1. I know some of you guys were asking about that, so we're going to be doing some hype kicks starting at $1. I know y'all been waiting on that, but hey, you just got to keep in mind, guys, usually when we run hype kicks at $1, we lose money, so it's not something I like doing all the time, but I never mind doing it, so make sure you guys are there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a good Thursday, I'll say that. All right, that's enough. Check out the IGs, any of that down below. I will see you all in the next video tomorrow. It's all down below there in that pinned comment. And drop a comment. I'll get back to you. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and don't miss it. Peace.